something terrible happen to Jungkook? Why were hospital lights suddenly flashing in the middle of the night? And why was Taehyung seen standing in silence with tears in his eyes? Those were the questions spreading like wildfire across social media in this fictional scenario, leaving millions of fans desperate for answers. What really happened behind the closed doors of the hospital? Was it a simple case of exhaustion, or was there something far more shocking hidden from public view? Before we begin, share your thoughts in the comments, let us know where you are watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy emotional BTS-inspired fictional stories filled with suspense, drama, and unforgettable moments. The night had started like any other intense training day. The practice facility was filled with determination, sweat, and the sound of footsteps echoing through the massive room. Jungkook had been pushing himself harder than anyone expected. His focus was unmatched, his energy seemed endless, and his determination to improve appeared stronger than ever. 4 hours, he repeated difficult routines without complaint. Trainers encouraged him to take breaks, but he insisted on continuing. Every movement was precise. Every step reflected his commitment to excellence. Those around him admired his discipline, yet some quietly worried that he was demanding too much from himself. As the evening turned into night, the atmosphere inside the training center began to change. Jungkook's breathing grew heavier. Small signs of fatigue started to appear. At first, nobody thought much of it. After all, he was known for working harder than almost anyone else. Then something unexpected happened. Witnesses in this fictional story claimed that Jungkook suddenly paused in the middle of practice. The room fell silent. For a brief moment, he appeared disoriented. His teammates immediately noticed the change. "Are you okay?" someone asked. Jungkook tried to smile. "I'm fine," he replied. But only seconds later, his legs seemed to weaken. The atmosphere instantly shifted from focused determination to panic. Staff members rushed toward him. Trainers called for medical assistance. Teammates surrounded him with concern written across their faces. The energetic environment that had existed moments earlier disappeared completely. No one expected the night to unfold this way. Within minutes, emergency personnel arrived. Conversations became frantic. Phones rang continuously. The seriousness of the situation became impossible to ignore. As Jungkook was carefully escorted for medical evaluation, everyone inside the facility shared the same fear. What if this was more than simple exhaustion? The journey to the hospital felt endless. Outside, flashing lights reflected against the dark streets. News of the incident had not yet reached the public, but anxiety was already spreading among those closest to him. Among them was Taehyung. In this fictional story, Taehyung had been informed shortly after the incident occurred. The moment he heard the news, his expression changed completely. "What happened?" he asked repeatedly. Unfortunately, clear answers were difficult to find. The uncertainty made everything worse. By the time Taehyung arrived at the hospital, his emotions were becoming impossible to contain. The normally calm and charismatic artist found himself overwhelmed by fear. Hospital corridors felt unusually cold. Every passing second seemed longer than the last. Doctors moved quickly through hallways while staff members waited nervously for updates. The atmosphere was heavy with concern. Then came the moment that nobody present would ever forget. A medical team finally emerged from a treatment room. Everyone stood up. Everyone searched for clues in their expressions. Taehyung stepped forward. "How is he?" The doctor's response was calm, but the tension remained unbearable. Jungkook was receiving treatment and further observation. Those words should have brought relief. Instead, they highlighted how serious the situation had become. Taehyung slowly sat down. For the first time since arriving, the reality of the situation fully reached him. The person he considered family was lying inside a hospital room. The uncertainty became overwhelming. According to this fictional narrative, tears began forming in Taehyung's eyes as memories flooded his mind. He remembered their earliest days together. He remembered years of training. He remembered the challenges they had overcome. He remembered countless moments of laughter, success, and struggle. Most importantly, he remembered how much Jungkook meant to him. The emotional weight became impossible to hide. As silence filled the hallway, tears finally rolled down his face. Several staff members looked away respectfully. Others lowered their heads. Nobody wanted to interrupt such a personal moment. The scene was heartbreaking. For years, fans had witnessed the strong friendship between the two artists. They had seen them support each other through triumphs and setbacks alike. Now, in this fictional story, that bond was being tested by fear and uncertainty. Hours continued to pass. Updates remained limited. The waiting became almost unbearable. Every time a doctor appeared, everyone immediately stood up. Every movement generated hope. Every conversation brought new questions. Meanwhile, concern continued growing among those connected to the situation. Some wondered whether intense training schedules had contributed to the incident. Others speculated that accumulated exhaustion might have played a role. Yet no definitive explanation emerged. The lack of answers only increased anxiety. Inside the hospital room, Jungkook remained under close observation. Machines monitored his condition. Medical staff worked carefully. The objective was simple: ensure his recovery. Outside, Taehyung refused to leave. Friends encouraged him to rest. Staff suggested taking a break. He declined every suggestion. "I'll stay here," he said. The determination in his voice left no room for argument. The hours after midnight felt endless. The hospital grew quieter. Hallway lights dimmed. Conversations became whispers. Yet Taehyung remained exactly where he was. Waiting. Hoping. Praying. Then, as dawn approached, a significant update finally arrived. Doctors reported encouraging signs. The atmosphere immediately changed. Relief spread through the waiting area. People who had spent hours holding their breath finally allowed themselves to relax. Taehyung closed his eyes. For the first time all night, he felt a sense of hope. The worst fears that had haunted everyone throughout the night began to fade. When permission was eventually granted for a brief visit, emotions once again filled the hospital corridor. The door slowly opened. Taehyung stepped inside. The room was quiet. Medical equipment hummed softly. Sunlight filtered through the window. And there was Jungkook. Though tired, he appeared stable. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Words seemed unnecessary. The emotional weight of the night already said everything. Taehyung approached carefully. His eyes once again became filled with tears. Not tears of fear this time. Tears of relief. The simple fact that Jungkook was awake felt like a miracle after such a terrifying night. A faint smile appeared. The atmosphere changed completely. The fear that had dominated the previous hours began giving way to gratitude. In that quiet hospital room, surrounded by uncertainty yet strengthened by friendship, both artists were reminded of something important. Success, achievements, records, and performances all mattered. But nothing mattered more than health, friendship, and the people who stood beside you when life suddenly changed. As the fictional story reached its conclusion, the hospital that had witnessed fear and heartbreak also became a place of hope. The tears that fell during the darkest moments transformed into tears of relief. The questions that once filled the night gradually found answers. And the friendship between Jungkook and Taehyung emerged stronger than ever, proving that even in the most difficult circumstances, genuine bonds can provide strength when it is needed most. The night had begun with shock. It had continued with uncertainty. It had nearly been consumed by fear. But it ended with hope. The morning sun continued to rise over the city, casting a warm glow across the hospital windows. Outside, life was beginning to return to normal. Cars moved through the streets, people headed to work, and the world seemed unaware of the emotional storm that had unfolded during the night. Inside the hospital, however, the memories of those frightening hours remained vivid. Taehyung sat quietly beside Jungkook's bed. The tension that had filled his heart was slowly fading, but traces of exhaustion remained visible on his face. He had barely slept. Every minute of the night had been spent worrying about someone he considered more than a friend. Jungkook looked toward the window for a moment before turning back toward Taehyung. "You stayed all night, didn't you?" he asked softly. Taehyung smiled. "Of course." Jungkook laughed weakly. "You should have gone home. And leave you here alone." The response was immediate. "Never." Silence followed. Not an uncomfortable silence, but the kind shared between people who understood each other without needing many words. For years they had stood together through difficult schedules, exhausting performances, overwhelming expectations, and countless challenges. Their bond had been built through experiences few people could truly understand. That bond had carried them through another difficult night. A doctor soon entered the room with encouraging news. Jungkook's condition continued improving. Additional tests showed positive results, and although rest would be necessary, the outlook was far better than many had feared hours earlier. The relief was impossible to describe. Staff members who had spent the night worrying finally smiled. Managers exchanged grateful looks. Friends who had been anxiously waiting for updates finally relaxed. For the first time since the emergency began, genuine optimism filled the hospital. Yet the emotional impact of the incident remained. As news spread among those closest to the group, countless messages began arriving. Friends wanted updates. Industry colleagues expressed concern. People from different parts of the world sent prayers and well wishes. Although this fictional story existed only within imagination, it reflected a universal truth. Moments of uncertainty often reveal how deeply people care about one another. Later that afternoon, additional members arrived to visit. The atmosphere inside the room transformed almost immediately. Conversations replaced silence. Laughter gradually replaced anxiety. The room that had felt heavy with fear now felt alive with friendship. Someone joked about Jungkook's stubbornness. Another teased him about refusing to take breaks. Even Jungkook could not help laughing. "You all sound like my trainers," he said. "Because they're right," Taehyung replied. The room erupted with laughter. For a few moments, the frightening events of the previous night seemed distant. But beneath the smiles remained an important realization. Everyone had been reminded how quickly circumstances could change. One moment they had been focused on practice. The next, they had been racing to a hospital. The experience left a lasting impression on everyone involved. As evening approached, visitors gradually left to allow Jungkook time to rest. Taehyung remained longer than anyone else. Before leaving, he stood beside the bed and looked at his friend. "You scared us." Jungkook lowered his gaze. "I know. You scared me." The honesty in Taehyung's voice carried more weight than any dramatic speech could have. Jungkook understood immediately. The emotions from the previous night had not completely disappeared. They had simply settled beneath the surface. For a moment neither spoke. Then Jungkook nodded. "I am sorry." Taehyung smiled. "Just get better." The words were simple, yet they meant everything. As days passed, recovery continued steadily. Doctors remained pleased with the progress. Energy gradually returned. Strength slowly improved. The frightening images of hospital corridors and emergency treatment rooms began giving way to optimism. Meanwhile, the emotional impact of the incident continued shaping the people around him. Staff members became more attentive. Friends encouraged healthier schedules. Everyone seemed determined to prevent a similar situation from happening again. For Jungkook himself, the experience became a powerful reminder. For years he had pushed his limits in pursuit of perfection. He had always believed that working harder was the answer. But sometimes even the strongest people need rest. Sometimes determination must be balanced with self-care. Sometimes strength means knowing when to stop. One evening during recovery, Jungkook found himself reflecting on everything that had happened. The flashing lights, the worried faces, the hospital room. Most of all, he remembered seeing tears in Taehyung's eyes. That memory affected him deeply. Throughout their friendship, they had supported each other through countless situations. Yet seeing genuine fear in someone he cared about reminded him that his choices affected more than just himself. The realization stayed with him. Weeks later, when his recovery was nearly complete, the group gathered together once again. The atmosphere was very different from the hospital. Bright lights replaced sterile hallways. Laughter replaced silence. Hope replaced fear. As they sat together sharing stories, Someone mentioned the night everyone wanted to forget. For a brief moment, the room became quiet. Then Taehyung looked at Jungkook. "Promise us something." "What?" "Promise you'll take care of yourself." Others quickly agreed. The request was unanimous. Jungkook looked around the room. These were the people who had stood beside him through every chapter of his life. The people who had worried. The people who had waited. The people who cared. He smiled. "I promise." The answer seemed simple, yet it carried enormous meaning. The room filled with applause and laughter. The heavy chapter that had begun in fear was finally closing. As the night continued, conversations shifted toward future plans, dreams, goals, and opportunities waiting ahead. The frightening hospital incident no longer defined the story. Instead, it became a reminder of resilience, a reminder of friendship, a reminder that even during life's darkest moments, hope can still emerge. And perhaps most importantly, it became a reminder that genuine connections are often revealed most clearly during times of crisis. Long after the hospital lights faded into memory, the emotional lessons remained. The tears shed in fear became symbols of love. The uncertainty became appreciation. The pain became perspective. And the friendship between Jungkook and Taehyung stood stronger than ever. Years from now, they might remember that frightening night differently. They might laugh about some moments. They might still feel emotional about others. But one thing would never change. When fear arrived unexpectedly, they faced it together. When uncertainty threatened to overwhelm them, they stood side by side. And when hope finally returned, they shared that moment together as well. Because some friendships are built not only through happiness and success, but also through the difficult nights that test the strength of the bond itself. For Jungkook and Taehyung in this fictional story, that night became one of those moments. A night that began with fear. A night filled with tears. A night surrounded by uncertainty. But ultimately, a night that proved how powerful friendship can truly be. And as the next chapter of their journey slowly began, both carried forward a lesson they would never forget. Life can change in an instant. Health should never be taken for granted. And the people who stay beside you during your darkest hours are often the greatest gift of all. The hospital room was eventually left behind. The fear slowly disappeared. The tears finally stopped. But the bond that carried them through the storm only grew stronger. And that bond would continue guiding them through whatever challenges awaited beyond the horizon.